Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be focusing this video on the Submariner Namor. Let's kick off the video by hitting the like button. It helps support me as a creator, and as well hitting the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Some of you may wonder why I've actually got this champion, and it's part of the content contributor program. So I basically get the character for a few days to review, cast my thoughts and opinions on it before releasing a video, which all the other creators do. This character will be removed from my account, so I don't get to keep it. Now let's get on with the review. So let's look at the abilities, look at synergy teams, and as well the damage output that we're expecting from this character. Compared with a lot of other mutants, he's definitely up there with damage dealing, and how this is really accomplished is through a lot of the signature ability or the general abilities of this champion. As you might be aware, based on the story that I did cover in my Marvel Contest of Champions news series, there is going to be changes that are going to be coming to Namor's signature ability. Mainly in the way that it interacts with other champions. We've been seeing some intense amounts of damage being reflected back based on his signature ability and causing an upset for a lot of people that use champions like Ghost. Either way, it's a case this is not going to be dramatically affecting the character, and it still won't have a big impact on the damage output, which is the main thing about this character that I want to talk about in this particular video. But if you do have any concerns, please go to the link in the description below, and it will take you to this bit of information as well as some additional stuff to maybe put your mind at ease on the subject. Hydrokinetic armor still provides some good enough damage output, but it is not going to be huge that if you were putting this guy in an Alliance Wars defense option, that if you were going up against it with a champion, is going to cause you any frustrations? No. And this champion very much felt from the off that it was an offensive based character, especially based on things like Fury, building up things like Imperious Rex and the damage output through providing an L3, and so many other different things like regeneration. That's really helpful and an added addition to keep this guy in the fight a lot longer. Medium attacks give the ability to bleed, and it's actually not too bad. It's an extra bonus to this champion and does improve its damage output. The name of the game with this character is Outrage. There's a 30 maximum stack that you can create for your Outrage before then entering into Imperious Rex. If you're going up against champions that are going to put debuff effects on you, you then build up your Outrage a lot more quickly. Also, when you're going up against bleed immune champions, that's when you have to rely on the natural way of every 3 seconds gaining that Outrage, unless you can hit by some sort of debuff. Either way, there are methods to build up Outrage quickly, but at the same time, it's nice to progressively build over time. The same way when you go up against champions with high hit pools, like Winter Soldier or anyone from Realm of Legends, like Labyrinth of Legends. And this champion will be viable for both types of content. Here's the point Imperious Rex comes in, and this is the bit that I love. I love trying building up the L3 quickly before getting to those 30 Outrage. So what I was doing was I was going up to the L3. I was then hitting in the L3 at about 25 Outrage on, and once I've hit it in, I then look to then build up to close to an L1. Then I got Imperious Rex. That flood of power comes in, and I want to hit off another L3. By doing so, it means I will get Passive Fury increasing attack rating by 3477 for 20 seconds. So imagine that doubled up. My attack rating has now gone to double the amount. Now, as well, you could play about with different methods with this. I did try a kind of a Heimdall synergy with this, and you know, when you swipe back, you put into block. It was the one with Hela. I think you can do it with Angela as well, where you get that Fury passive for 15%. But I then made the decision to then look at stuff like special attack damage, the mutant synergies. Those seem to be a bit more fun, and especially hitting in huge amounts of crits meant that just seemed to be more nice for me to see. So I enjoyed that synergy more than I enjoyed the Heimdall synergy. So maybe if that's the case in future, that I may not use either of those synergies, but it depends what type of team in the future I'd like to work with. Just re-emphasizing and talking about Imperious Rex a bit more, I do love this. It is great to see the extent of damage you can output by the L3, and especially, like I said, that method of going L3, building up a little bit more into power bar 1, then it's the case that we hit off that other L3. As you know, it's difficult. If you've done the L3 once, and then you're going into Imperious Rex, chances are you won't be able to hit up another L3. You've got to be really quick in order to do it. Sometimes it works, I've had some times where it hasn't. But like I said, I want to hit off those 2 passive Furies in order to put in the insane amount of damage that I've seen. Especially hitting up that mutant synergy means you're going to put a lot of damage in. and there's some amazing crits I'll probably be showing off the top of this video segment here. But you need to consider the fact that your power bar is going to go down. On a good day, you can hit in 2 L2s after doing an Imperious Rex. After that point, it's then you putting in L1s, which is nice because then you're able to put the bleed damage. And obviously with the scaling of the attack rating does mean that you're going to see some more bleed damage, some very tasty numbers, as well as very tasty numbers from any basic kind of hits. So yeah, very impressive stuff. But watch out for that power bar because it will go down quickly. I personally didn't mess around with anything with a heavy attack, as I just felt that that kind of subtracted away from me trying to build up to that method that I was talking about, hitting up the 25 or 27, hitting in the L3, and then it's a case that we then build up to Imperious Rex and then smacking with lots of specials after that. But I love the fact that you get regeneration after the point of doing special attacks. Not a huge amount, but enough to keep you in the game and make him a really strong contender for doing some end game content like Labyrinth of Legends or Realm of Legends. Namor is one of these champions like Cull Obsidian of last month where they stand out above the rest, and this is great because before, if you think about 2 years ago, we were constantly talking about, oh yeah, blade this, blade that, nerf blade here, nerf blade there. But the fact is, we've now gone into this way of thinking with the game where lots of different champions are like, that's a great champion. Your Ghosts, your Corvuses, your Cull Obsidians, Namor, Stark Spider. The list goes on of like top champions where you go, right, okay, there's much more. Before it used to be a case of like, rank blade, blade. And you just go, this isn't cool, because that was what was always in Alliance Wars. One thing you need to consider is mastery build around this character. Yes, suicide masteries would be able to damage output a huge amount more than what you were seeing from some of the clips that I put together. I'm probably, and I don't have any intention to actually do that, but I'm sure that some other creators that run suicide masteries quite a bit would probably be able to show you that extent of damage. However, something to point out, which I may or may not have seen from this video, is that courage. Courage helps a lot, especially considering getting to L3, getting an Imperious Rex, and as well doubling that amount of Imperious Rex, maybe coupled with that Heimdall synergy of putting a Fury buff, that attack rating increase, coupled with the fact that we have courage, could mean that we'll see a lot more damage. So attacks get increased by 20% if below 50% health. But it could have been something we've seen in some of these clips. So if I've done that and the champion is below that 50%, then you've probably seen an increase based on that. So if you're struggling, if you get this champion to produce some of the numbers, then it could be a case that you might need to put on the courage mastery. Mastery builds are a very personal thing, so you might want to tailor something that kind of benefits a lot of characters. For example, extended fury. If you've not got a synergy that's going to help out with this in any kind of way, then you could look at enhanced fury as well as extended fury. So these two things could really help you out if you're thinking of building something exclusively for a lot of characters that have fury based abilities. Just before we enter the last part of the video, I'm just going to give you a quick character fact. So did you know that Namor joined Cap in Civil War? No? Well, let's explain. On initial viewing, the laws of the surface rarely touched Atlantis, and the Superhuman Registration Act shouldn't have bothered Namor too much. However, the events that triggered the Civil War event ensured that Namor had a personal stake in the conflict. Namorita, Namor's cousin, lost her life in the initial blast that began the event. Pro-registration forces attempted to gain his allegiance, but the pain Namor felt was a bit too raw, so he rebuked them. Namor activated Atlantean sleeper agents to help capture/destroy a returned Nitro, responsible for the blast that claimed Namorita. He arrived with his army at the Battle of the Civil War to even the odds, where Iron Man had bolstered his ranks with villains. And if you want to learn more about the character, links are in the description below for some other facts about him. My final thoughts is I had a lot of fun with this character, a lot of great damage output, a lot of different ideas of different content to be used in. Had a crack at doing some bits with Labyrinth of Legends and just messed around with that, but did find that the damage output seemed to be sufficient enough. So a 5-star and a 6-star would be able to smash Labyrinth of Legends. A 4-star will quite cleanly go through things like Realm of Legends. So if you're looking for an option for those particular events, then go for them. Even the 3-star could be valuable for a lot of new players starting off grinding out in game and help you clear a lot of content. Either way, and again, just that to say, this was a good champion. I thoroughly enjoyed him. I really hope there's no changes in the future to him, because I know that a lot of people are quick to go, oh, this guy's going to be nerfed and this, that, and the other thing. But I hope there we go. That has been the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And also, what is your thoughts on the character? Do you really want to get him? Will you be going in the arena to get him? Will you be going for crystals? What are your thoughts? Have them in the comment section down below. Also, check out some of my other content. So the news there, another video there, and also the links here to subscribe to me as well as my other channel, Stormbreaker Gaming. So make sure to check out those links and other stuff. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe for more Marvel Contest Champions based content, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.